fire again, this time over allegations of nepotism. He recently announced a shake-up in Nigeria's Federal Housing Authority.
Please continue to help us to share while we play this video.
And he's appointed this man as the new MD/CEO, Oyetunde Ojo. He's a former Nigerian MP. He served from 2011 to 2015, but he failed to get re-elected in the 2015 election. After that, he turned to business, reportedly in the oil and gas sector. And now he's the CEO of a housing authority. What's his qualification? Apparently, over a decade's worth of experience in the housing and hospitality industries. That's what the Nigerian government said while appointing him. But exactly when did this happen? When did he get the time to acquire this decade's worth of housing experience? It remains a mystery. But the Nigerian government insists that he is the best man for the job. Of course, they need to hype up his credentials to deflect from his other big achievement. And what's that? Being married to Fola Shade Tinubu, the oldest daughter of President Bola Tinubu. Nepotism is never good for optics after all, and the last thing Tinubu needs is another scandal. The Nigerian president has been racking up controversies ever since he took office. The last one was about an oil field, an offshore oil block called OPL 245. It was a disputed field bought by European oil giants Eni and Shell. There were corruption allegations. Nigeria had sued the oil companies. The case was pending in international tribunals. But last month, the president of Nigeria restored the fields to the Europeans. He ended all legal disputes over the offshore field and called for the matter to be resolved amicably. Now, you can choose to look at this as Tinubu moving forward, as him dropping a long dispute and getting back to business. Or you may wonder about the timing. Eni, one of the European oil firms involved here, signed another deal recently. This happened a few months ago. They sold their Nigerian onshore assets to a local firm, a firm called Onado PLC. The sale was very beneficial for the Nigerian oil company. Its total oil reserves doubled after it bought Eni's assets. And guess who is the chief executive of the Onado group? A man called Adewale Tinubu, or Wale as he's popularly known. The last name is not a coincidence. He is related to the Nigerian president too. He's the president's nephew. So a European oil company sells its business to Tinubu's nephew. The nephew's company benefits, and Nigeria drops litigation against the Europeans soon after. What does that sound like to you? Allegations of nepotism and corruption are hounding the president. But that's not all. He's also been accused of using his office for personal gain, using it to fund a luxurious lifestyle, like with the yacht controversy. Tinubu became president last year. He took office in the month of May. His government had to release a supplementary budget to allocate resources for this year, and this happened in November. The budget came in November. But while the budget was being discussed, an anomaly came to light. Money was earmarked for a presidential yacht, a princely sum of 5 billion naira. That's about $3.5 million US dollars. Now, Nigeria is an economic powerhouse, but it's still a developing nation. There is massive wealth inequality. People are struggling with the cost of living crisis and reeling after the government reduced fuel subsidies last year. In this environment, President Bola Tinubu was buying a yacht on the taxpayers' dime. You can imagine the uproar. Nigerians were furious. So were opposition lawmakers. They forced the government to divert the yacht money. It was funneled into a student loan fund instead. But you see, the yacht had already been delivered by them to the Nigerian Navy. So now they have to find a way to pay for the luxury boat. And these are just some of the controversies that have dogged Tinubu since he took office. There are others as well. And by the looks of it, there will be more to come. Hopefully, Nigeria will continue to progress despite the extravagance of its president and the enrichment of his family.
They can progress, my dear. They cannot progress. Hope. That's why we say hope is not a strategy. She ended by saying that hopefully Nigeria will continue to progress. Progress from where to where? When your bank account is leaking, how are you going to progress? We'll pull up. We'll pull up the next video. And these are for people that didn't listen to the news of the week. what is going on, why you're sleeping, why you're praying, why you're calling on God, accusing your mother of holding your destinies and all kinds of stuff. These people are busy swallowing your money and trying to turn your country into an Islamic state. And they're coming for you. Whether you ate noodles with them at the dormitory or you slept with them in the same bunk bed, they are coming. And when they come, they will start with you because they know you're willing to sell your brother. So they can't trust you. You cannot be in their camps. You will be their first casualty. Let's pull up the next video.
Britain turned up with a proposition for how to manage the situation for him and gave him dotted lines to sign for the oil and gas assets of Eastern Nigeria. That was how the entire oil and gas assets of the Eastern Nigeria of the time was consigned, was conveyed, was given away to Britain. It was illicit head of state, Yakubu Gowon, trying to validate himself in office, that signed off. Of course, Britain now went to Security Council, gave some members portions of the concession from that 100%. They took out 40%, gave other members of the UN Security Council of the time. Find out how Gulf oil came here. Find out how Egypt got here. Find out how Earth got here. It was from taking the portion that Britain gave to them so that they can come and beat down the owners of the assets. We are back to that same situation in which an illicit, an illegitimate president has been coronated, and in an attempt to validate himself, he's signing off on all kinds of things that a president that is mandated by the people will not do. We hear about the gas pipeline they're going to build to Morocco. At a time we have not settled. Look at this map, the dot in circle. Let those who are clapping and cheering about how the $11 billion could be earned per annum from selling the gas of Eastern Nigeria. Let those who are rejoicing now find out whether the owners of that asset are on the table of that discussion. Or is it all these illicit things that will gang up for the second time in one generation to sell off the future of a people? It's not going to happen. The people you are talking to, the Kellogg and Co. that will do that pipeline, oh, you are trying to tell us that it is in the offshore of 60 kilometers of Akwa Ibom offshore that you are going to get gas. You don't know, you are the one that is illiterate in the subject matter. Some of us who were in the field, some of us who know how TSKJ became LNG can tell you exactly where the gas deposits are. We can tell you the routes from where you can pipe to anywhere. And so the pretense that, oh yes, we've found new investors who have confidence, you know, look at the kind of spokesmen, look at the kind of people surrounding this fellow as government of Federation of Nigeria. The hood does not make the monk, but it appears that in Nigeria, the hood is making the monk. Election 2023, presidential election 2023, inconclusive. Product of that election, illegitimate. This period, interregnum. You can take that to the bank.
Yep, you can definitely take that to the bank. And our people are sleeping while the interregnum president sign off their assets, buy himself a yacht, billions of dollars, when our people are starving. And his Western cronies are acting as if, oh, nothing is happening. Anyway, why would we trust them? These are the same people that said that Pakistani election is good, that it was competitive, when it was a clear-cut subvent of democracy. And everybody was watching it. So why would we believe what they're telling us now? They have never ever spoken the truth. They will never speak the truth because you, the indigenous peoples, are watching them. You're allowing them to play a fast one on you.